Today I'd like to talk about an earlier video where I pointed out that there might be in one of the events scheduled what I didn't know was called at the time impeding. Recently, one of our supercilious camp hosts was caught on video interfering with someone who had paid the fee and was dumping their trash and dumping their tank and getting water. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with how it works, out here in the Southwest, BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, allows people to stay at what's called a long-term visitors area. The long-term visitors area is, you pay for that. It's $180 for, I believe it's 6 months, and what you are allowed to do is go to any long-term visitor area, LTVA, and dump your tanks, get fresh water, and deposit your trash in the dumpsters. These LTVA are in Arizona and California, and once you've paid your fee, you can do that anywhere and stay on any LTVA for as long as you'd like. Apparently, in one instance, a camp host in California didn't understand the rules, and they were explained to them, I thought very nicely. It's all on video if you can find it. And they still insisted on blocking someone's access who had paid a fee and had access to the dump. Up until that point, seeing that video, I was unaware that there actually was an offense, and apparently the offense is called impeding, where you interfere with the lawful use of the BLM land. I had put up a video questioning impeding as we read it in the law, and wondering how telling people they were not allowed in a particular area or had to go around and all of those things, if that was considered legal. Based on the information we now have, there is an offense. It's unclear at this point whether that offense is a civil offense or a criminal offense, but the result of the individual impeding another who had paid and was lawfully using the services is that that individual no longer works or volunteers with the BLM. The point of this is to discuss some of the ridiculous comments that I received. Apparently asking questions, evaluating businesses, charities, even behavior critically, is not adult behavior any longer. That used to be what constituted an adult. Teenagers didn't think about the consequences or what their actions were saying about everybody else or what effect it would have on others. They just did what felt good at the time, and sometimes it turned out to be a bad idea. But an adult evaluates what they're about to do and makes decisions based on an individual's principles or own guidelines. It's generally accepted that these will be reasonable, but in the comments section, I don't think reasonableness enters into it. Name calling, threats, statements that are completely obtuse. They're in fact inaccurate. In fact, apparently there are people out there who have degrees and licenses that permit them, based on a 2 or 3 minute viewing of a video, to make a medical diagnosis. Now, I don't know of any professional occupation that would allow such a thing under the code of ethics in most businesses. So either there are a bunch of unethical practitioners making comments on YouTube, or it's just the internet and a bunch of people in their basement. One person went so far as to invoke God. They started off with a big slur of all kinds of name calling and how I should grow up, and I'm obviously not very bright, and ended it with they could do this because they had some sort of relationship with their God, ending it with blessed be. Well, the last part of blessed be, which I believe is a psalm, is that I don't need to fear their insults and arrows. So first they insulted me, and then they told me that it was all protected by God. That was just bizarre. Other comments, there's people who invoke their families. They tell me what their mother or their father used to tell them. I really am not interested. Your parents may have told you to grow up on a regular basis. But your family values are yours, and I don't want them any more than I think you want my family values. So if you could, refrain from those sort of ridiculous comments. There's another YouTuber who has labeled these so-called geniuses. I guess they self-identify as a genius. Window-licking stupid. It's a play on finger-licking good, for those of you who are confused. These people basically seem to have no sense. They don't comment on what was in the video. There's no connectedness to it, and they comment on something completely different. My videos have all been pretty much on fact-based information, except when I show you that it's raining. And the comments are over the top, goofy, just goofy. That's why I pointed out that first one that I talked about earlier. I asked specifically a few months ago if telling people that they were not permitted to go to a certain area when the law permitted them to go to that area, if that constituted a violation of the rules of the BLM. The number of people who seem to be under the misguided notion that if you pay enough money, you can get a permit to violate statutes and rules is amazing. And it continues. All I do is look at written information and evaluate what exactly it says. That is adult behavior. What I do is look at what I have done based on information I relied upon and say it was a waste of money. A number of people said I should take responsibility. You don't take responsibility. You are responsible for your decisions. But making decisions without sufficient information is not adult. It's just stupid. The more information you have, the better your decision. Now, saying that the information you had and the information you relied upon was inaccurate is not complaining, nor is it whining. It is simply a statement of fact. Apparently, this is confusing to many, and I really don't understand how that's possible, except that apparently over 80% of the people watching YouTube have difficulty understanding what they see, so they write whatever they want. Maybe there's too many trigger words. Maybe they have some problems that they need to deal with, and they're bringing those to the comment section of YouTube. I don't care. If the comments are off point and or completely ridiculous, and I'll be the determiner of whether they are, I'm not going to tolerate them anymore. I'm just going to get rid of them. If you want to have intelligent discussions and disagree and differ, that's fine. But telling people how they should behave and imposing upon them your rules of adult behavior or something you heard somewhere and are repeating because you haven't had an original thought since the 3rd grade, that's not going to be tolerated. Semper Fi.